What is up, guys, and welcome back to Koi's Corner. Now, we all have a physical body, this vessel that we are born with and use to experience life and consciousness from within. But what if some unknown way we have another body, an astral body? And what if somehow we can detach this astral body from our physical body and travel to dimensions and places and experience things that may not even make sense during what we are calling life now? What would this experience be like, and how would we do it? Let's find out. Today we'll be talking about what's known as astral projection, or also known as an out-of-body experience. Astral projection is essentially the act itself of projecting our astral body outside of our physical body and experiencing the astral planes. And when this is done, it frees us from our physical body, from our attachments to this experience's life that we are living right now, and instead lets us explore this completely new, different dimension and experiential plane called the astral realm. And what these astral planes essentially are different planes and dimensions of existence, but you can only experience them once you reach them. Once you have an out-of-body experience or have a near-death experience, these are the only ways you can honestly see or experience these occurrences, these planes. It sounds crazy, but again, it's something you must experience for yourself to fully comprehend the magnitude of what it really is. Now, I know this video has just begun. This is a lot to take in, especially for the skeptical mind, but I was the exact same way before I had my first astral projection. It is something you must try before necessarily saying it can or cannot happen, it does or does not exist. The amazing thing about astral projections is that every single experience to each of us is completely different, but they occur within the same area, within the same astral plane. All these experiences, whether they be near death or astral projections, when they come back, when people analyze them and talk about them, they are unanimously within the same dimensional plane, within the astral plane. Within these experiences, they all similarly happen, and there's only certain ways for them to happen. This is the crazy part. People that have never met each other, never known each other, still experience the same ideal things. And I personally think that astral projections are key when it comes to really starting to understand and accept the unknown, the spiritual aspect of the world around us, the things that we cannot fully explain with science, of something other than this life and this dimensional plane that we live within existing somehow, somewhere. Because it doesn't really fit into these realms. It simply is its own thing. It will change your life for the better, I promise. After all, astral projection has been around for thousands of years. It has been used by shamanic cultures and religious cultures and ancient cultures since we can remember. We have records across all the world talking about these out-of-body experiences and astral projections. There are references to these experiences in the Bible, in the Quran, in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, Hindu scriptures. I mean, the list goes on. It is amazing how many different cultures that did not have contact, that lived at different times, experienced these things the same way and documented them the same way. But the funny thing is, it really wasn't brought back up in the popular light and popular culture to the mainstream people till about the 1970s, 80s, when a man named Robert Monroe started having a massive amount of astral projections. He then wrote these 3 books on the topics, which I highly suggest anybody getting into astral projection should read immediately. I read these books after I had my first astral projection, and it will help you to an amazing extent to really understand what's going on and what the experiences you have are like and why they are occurring and other methods. So here's the big question: how do we do it? I mean, how does one project one's astral body outside of its physical body? Because doing this, at least for me, changes your life forever in every way you look at this reality. With that being said, let's get right into how to astral project using something known as the rope technique. Now, we'll be starting with the rope technique simply because this is, again, a video for what astral projection really is. There are tons of methods on astral projection, but this is the simplest with the simplest form of rules and has one of the highest rates of success. Also, with that being said, remember that astral projection is not easy. It is much more tedious and time consuming and takes much more effort than lucid dreaming does, as I talked about in my last video on lucid dreaming. So know this before you get into it, that astral projection can take a while to master. So step 1, before you start anything, make sure you are relaxed. When I say relaxed, I don't mean that you are just calm. I mean every single aspect of you as a person is relaxed. Your body, your mind, you are not stressed out. Your muscles are relaxed. You have stretched or done something to make sure you are completely comfortable when you start this journey, because that is the main thing. You must be comfortable in every way. So make sure you are fully relaxed, not only physically but mentally. 2, make sure it is quiet and that you are comfortable. Again, you are trying to leave this body, but you don't want to have little things annoying you on this journey once you start it, because it will happen. Make sure that wherever you are doing this, wherever you are trying to attempt this, it is completely quiet. You do not use music or binaural beats when you first start like you do in lucid dreaming. Some people can, but it is so much easier when you have nothing going on, you have no external experiences to worry about when you are focusing inside yourself. Step 3, do this in the early morning. Do not do this before bed. It won't work, you'll fall asleep. Or if you want to do this after sleep, make sure you get at least 3 or 4 hours of sleep before you attempt this. This is not something you do when you are tired. It will not work. You'll fall asleep every single time when you do that. You have to be in a kind of awake state, but also a dozy state. So really the best time to do this is to get a couple hours of sleep, or once you wake up, kind of hang out and then attempt these methods. So once you do this, we can finally get into the real aspects of how to astral project. So step 4, make sure you are in bed, make sure you're comfortable, make sure everything is in perfect condition. Close your eyes and start to slowly just breathe and focus on your breathing for about 5 to 10 minutes. Get yourself into a really calm and clear state. Don't try to focus or think of anything. Don't try to wonder about how to do it. Just simply breathe in your nose, out your mouth for about 5 to 10 minutes while you are slowly letting your body calm down and get to a very, very, very relaxed state. Step 5, once you are in this process, you will need to do something called visualization, and that means you have to visualize a rope hanging above you. This is why it's called the rope method, because it involves a rope in this astral realm. You visualize a rope, and then what you do is, while your arms are by your side, while you're completely flat, laying flat with all your extremities out, visualize, don't actually do it, but visualize your arms coming up and pulling on this astral rope and pulling your astral body out of your physical. Imagine every aspect of this rope, the texture of it, the feel of it, the weight of it, the grip of your hands on it. Visualize your whole body being pulled out by this rope and continue to do this. This can take a very long time, 30 minutes to an hour or so, because what's happening while you visualize your astral body being pulled out of your physical body is your body is falling asleep physically. It's going through a hypnagogic state of wakefulness to sleep, and that is what you are trying to stay conscious between that's happening. So the next step, and one of the biggest steps, is to enter and pass this hypnagogic state while you are pulling on this rope. This is the hardest part of astral projection, and you have to keep it in mind when you are doing it, because this is the #1 area where people mess up or they wake up. It always happens. It happened to me countless times before I kind of realized how to do it fully without ever getting past it. And why this happens is because your body, when it goes from this wakeful state to sleep state through hypnagogia, and you are trying to pull yourself out of your body, your astral body, and stay fully conscious and work your extremities mentally, your body starts to vibrate, and it vibrates at a very, very physical level. It is absolutely insane. This experience alone is absolutely crazy, and what's crazy to me is it will start in your toes and slowly work its way up through your extremities, through your fingers, through your arms, through your legs, through the core of your body to your mind, and your whole body will feel like it is violently shaking. Not super violently, but physically enough to where you feel like somebody is physically shaking you. And this is the hardest part, to keep your mind focused on the rope. Once you reach this vibrational state, you will get past it, and when you get past it, this is literally a physical feeling of a pop, a detachment from your physical body. And this is when you start to hover above your physical body in the astral realm, and you realize you have projected your astral body outside your physical. And when you do this for the last step, the hardest thing to get into people's minds and to realize once you start doing astral projection is to not freak out. Freaking out is the #1 factor in what kind of ruins an astral projection, because it just doesn't seem real that it's possible. So when doing this, once you kind of reach this stage of projecting outside your physical body, do your best not to kind of freak out at the fact that you succeeded, that you did it right, that you did project astrally outside of your physical body. Because if you can kind of surpass this excitement of projecting outside of your physical body and retain your logic, I guess, and work towards the astral realm, you will see things and experience things you've never experienced before. Once you get past that level and you project out, and you realize it, and you don't wake up because of how insane it is, you can then go ahead and do literally anything you want, in any fashion you want to, in any realm. Meet people that have passed away, talk to things, fly, create realities, visit countries you've never been to before, speak to entities that may not even make sense to you, but make sense in the astral realm. The possibilities are endless. It is an experience that has no belonging in this realm that we live in now, in the physical 4th dimension, that we can really experience or explain with words once you come back. It is something that you have to experience to really fully grasp and comprehend the magnitude of what's happening. I was a very scientific person in my life, very atheistic, very not open to any spiritual aspect for a long time, until I had my first astral projection. And when I did, I literally broke down and cried at how amazing it was, because there's no scientific way to explain what is happening. It is simply something that is uncomprehendable until you do it, and it completely changed my entire life. From every aspect of the way I thought, on every single level, one astral projection changed all of it completely. And I honestly think that it can do this for anybody, for you, for me, for anyone that really does try to astral project, no matter how hard it may be, no matter how many times you fail, once you do it, it will leave you with an experience that will never leave your mind and that you will never ever forget. It is an amazing experience that I feel like everyone should have the ability to learn how to do. This is why it's been around since ancient times. This is why it continues to be around and why it's such a big deal nowadays. We need to understand there's more out there than just what we see in front of our faces, and there's much more out there than we can comprehend at all times. So that being said, thank you guys very much for checking this video out. I really hope you enjoy astral projection, this video on it and the methods. I hope they work for you. If they do, comment below and let me know. If you like the video, make sure to like, subscribe, talk to me about what you thought, leave comments if you have any questions on the ideas. We'll be doing more videos in the future on new methods, my personal experiences with astral projection if you guys want to see stuff like that, and so on. If you have any questions, any ideas whatsoever, make sure to follow me on my social sites. They are right here. I give updates all the time. I talk about my stuff that's going on, my video plans, things like that. So again, thank you guys very much, and like always, I will see you next week.